And welcome back. Our next guest is a stand-up comic and actor who has performed across the country. He's worked with Mark Curry, Sinbad, and Bill Bellamy, and he also MCs local music. Please welcome San Francisco's own Hannibal Thompson. Welcome.
Welcome and thank you.
You're very welcome. So we were just talking about growing up in San Francisco and how that informs your work. So talk to me about growing up. You said you grew up in the streets in some ways, and at some point made a turn into comedy. Tell me about that.
The streets was kind of, I graduated high school in Vallejo. I moved from San Francisco with my dad when I was in the 8th grade. Finished middle school, finished high school because I probably wasn't going to finish in San Francisco. But after I graduated, I came right back to San Francisco, and I was just hanging. I was supposed to go to school down in Arizona, but I was just hanging and letting time fly by. And eventually, you know, some stuff happened in the streets, and I just got caught up in the mix.
Caught up in the mix.
Yeah.
And you decided at some point to actually take that turn into comedy. How did that come about? How'd you get started?
I've always wanted to be a comedic actor. You know, I was real big on the comedy sitcoms in the 90s, the Martins and the Wayans Brothers and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Who wasn't? Love those shows.
Yeah, love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I was, you know, those guys were like my idols. You know, I wanted to be like them, a real big comedic actor. But I fell in love with stand-up like in '98 from the Kings of Comedy. My dad was real big on, he was a big fan of stand-up, Red Fox and Bernie Mac, and so he had me watching the Kings of Comedy one night, and I fell in love with Bernie Mac after I seen his set and D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainers and those guys. I said, okay, I want to do comedic acting, but I want to do that too. You know?
This is what you want to do.
Right.
Those were your inspirations. So tell me, I had a chance to look at some of your stand-up, and you have a very particular voice. How would you describe your voice, your take in comedy?
My style of comedy is, it comes from life. Just life, stuff I've been through, stuff I'm going through, stuff I see every day in my family. You know, my 5-year-old, I talk about everything because life is, you know, funny. You have ups and downs in life, but you can make it funny. So that's where my comedy comes from. And my voice is from some pain, but it's also joy. I'm always smiling.
Always smiling.
Yeah, always smiling. You know, I have to show these big, beautiful buck teeth.
You make fun of yourself a lot in your stand-up.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. How do you manage to mix your experience in the Bay Area with your stand-up? Does that come up for you a lot? I know you talk about your family a lot, but
Right.
Does being a local boy come up?
It comes up, you know, if I'm away or if I'm here. You have to let, you know, the audience know you know, they're there to laugh, number one, but let them laugh at, you know, well, me personally, I tend to make the audience laugh at my experiences. You know, I tend to, like, if I'm I'm going to Edmonton, Canada. I'm headlining up in Canada in a few months. And,
that's exciting.
yeah, so when I get there, I would throw in a few jokes about, you know, their town, their city, or stuff I see there. But other than that, it's going to be all about me and what I'm going through, what I've been through, and, you know, just life experience.
A lot of people think if you are a funny guy, you can just get up there and kill it at stand-up comedy. That's not true, though. What do you think makes a good stand-up comic? What is essential to a good performance?
Number one, this takes a lot of writing, a lot of studying, a lot of practicing, you know, a lot of getting on stage. You know, I'm on stage every night or every other night because you have to practice the new jokes, of course. You have to touch up the old jokes, and you also have to stay, you know, fresh. You can't, you know, just get on stage every month, call yourself a comedian, and think you're going to do good. No, you're going to fumble because you haven't been practicing. It's something like, well, it's not like sports, but in sports, you have to practice if you want to be good or if you want to stay good. Practice. Same thing with stand-up. Yeah, practice makes perfect. Yeah, you know.
And I see you out there on social media as well. These days, if you're a comic, you're also going to have to juggle Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. You've got your rants going on Instagram.
Right.
I've seen a couple of those.
It's all about, you know, you have to stay in the mix, basically. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's all free promotion, and it's a connection with the people also. You know, the people, like, if you're sitting at work at your desk, you know, and you want to laugh, you can log on to my Twitter. I am Hannibal T, by the way. You can log on to my Twitter, and, you know, I'm making a bunch of jokes about sports or stuff I see on the internet or on TV, and it's all in fun. The world is already a messed up place, pretty crazy, so it's it's I love to make people laugh, and just because of that,
It's got to be a great job. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us today. For more information on where you can see Hannibal, you can go to HannibalThompson.com, HannibalThompson.com. We'll be back with more after a short break. Stay with us.